Former UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold went off on Sean Strickland's performance yesterday at UFC 312 on Ariel Helwani's show. But is he one to talk? We're going to discuss that in today's video. My name is James Lynch. So Luke Rockhold, out of nowhere, brings up the Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis fight. Of course, du Plessis retaining his title, Sean Strickland breaking his nose in the 4th round. And Luke Rockhold had some things to say. I don't know where this beef started, by the way. I believe they did train a little bit together back in California years ago, because I know, Rockhold was training a bit over there. I know Strickland used to train there, so I don't know what the deal is there, but Rockhold does not like Sean Strickland, and he makes it very clear in this clip. We're not going to watch the whole thing. It's 5 minutes, but here's some things that Rockhold says, and then I got some things to say after.
We all watch the fight, and we all heard the guy talk about to the death, Dutchman, to the death. This mother talks such a big game, and then he bitches out and basically quits in a fight after he breaks his nose. Like, what are you worried about? You have a title fight. You have world titles online. That's all you want. That's all you dreamed of. And you're more worried about fixing your nose than winning and biting down on your mouthpiece and doing what you got to do. I mean, it shows your true character. That's the cage is all about.
He's getting a ton of in the aftermath of this fight. People saying that, I had Dean Thomas in studio here saying like he's not that guy. He says he's that guy, but he's not that guy. Do you agree with that sentiment?
100%. When has he ever can put his ass on the line and bit down and really went for it through a whole process of a fight, not just the last 10 seconds of a round? I mean, the guy is nonstop. I mean, he's not finishing any big fights. I'll tell you that. Look at him out there, just talking and doing shit that's not even him,
What do you mean by that last part?
I'm just tired of fake people. I don't know. I mean, you just see everything that he presents himself as, which he is not. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so they kind of go on a little bit, and actually I do remember that these two were supposed to fight a couple of years ago, so maybe that's where the bad blood started. I think it was on the New York card, if I'm not mistaken. Listen, I think Rockhold's criticisms of Strickland are fair in the sense of, Strickland did make that thing going into the fight about how, fight till the death. Didn't really look like that, but that's not really Strickland's style. He's more defensive, more counter. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and get a first round finish. Strickland has finished opponents before. He did finish Abus Magomedov, a few fights back. I think the criticism here is somewhat fair. As far as him fixing his nose, like, what are you supposed to do if you can't breathe out of your nose? He was trying to fix it here and try and fight. Would you have liked to have seen some more bite out of Sean Strickland later in the fight? Of course. I think a lot of people felt that way, and I think that's a fair criticism. But Luke Rockhold's not really one to talk here. If you remember, he had that bare knuckle fight with Mike Perry. I'll show you a little bit of it here where he broke his tooth. He basically quit against Mike Perry, who he's much bigger than. I mean, Luke Rockhold's fought at 205. He's fought at 185 in his career. Mike Perry fought at welterweight when he was in the UFC. He's not a very big guy. And here's Rockhold in this fight. I'll show you a little bit of it, where he basically says he can't go on anymore because of his tooth. So this is where, listen, I think Rockhold, the whole point about fighting to the death, I think that's totally fair. But giving him, saying that he's quitting in the fight, which Strickland didn't do. Strickland finished the fight. Strickland didn't wave it off and said, my nose is broken. This is what Rockhold does in this fight. So have a quick look here.
Over the neck throws the immediate separation. Rockhold taking out his mouthpiece, talking over Dan.
And there's not much of an effort to continue. So again, like Rockhold saying he's quitting, this is quitting. He quits in the fight. Sean Strickland actually finished the fight. Again, I think there's absolutely no problem with criticizing Sean Strickland's performance, him not being more aggressive. That's something we all wanted to see in the fight. But Luke doesn't really have a case here as far as the quitting part of things, because again, Sean Strickland did not quit in that fight. He went the full 5 rounds. He broke his nose in the 4th, did have the 5th round. Again, we would have liked to see a little bit more aggressiveness, but I don't know. I don't get this. And Luke's not even in the UFC anymore. Like, this is not a fight that's going to happen anytime soon. I know people, a lot of people feel like Strickland's on the decline and we're not going to see much more of him in the UFC. I think that's fair, but I mean, Luke's in the GFL now. There's no reason for him to be going after Strickland. And again, I'd like to know more of the beef here and understand why these two guys are sort of going at each other, but this just comes across as kind of petty. I know Rockhold is a former middleweight champion. He was an unstoppable force when he was the champ, but I don't know. I just think it's kicking someone while they're down type thing. Strickland losing that fight. I don't know. Coming from Luke, like I said, you just saw it there. He quit in that fight with Mike Perry, who's a much smaller opponent. I don't know if he really has a place to talk here. So Luke, kind of calling the kettle black a little bit with that statement here. So yeah, Luke Rockhold, yeah, not a fan of these comments considering what he did against Mike Perry. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. What did you think of Strickland's performance? What did you think of the fight? What do you think of Rockhold's comments? Do you think he's, a little bit in the wrong here just with what happened with his fight with Mike Perry? Let me know in the comments. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.